Thank you for tuning in, and please like and subscribe, or you might find some bite marks on your neck in the morning. Let's get right into it, my little bats. I work as a lookout at a national forest. Does anyone know what co-black means?
Peter, can you even see anything up there?
Harry, the oldest yet least mature forest ranger, said over the two-way. High on my perch in Tower 3, I had a full 360-degree view of a national forest that had stretched out into the horizon. This was a dumb joke he liked to ask every time I drew the short straw for this position. Yes, vision clear, no smoke, no fires, no adverse weather conditions.
Oh, cool. Hey, can you see me flipping the double bird to you?
He said this so often that I mouthed the words as he spoke. Harry, like stress or radiation, was fine in small doses. But God help you if you have a weekend shift with the man.
Flo, there are like 5 campers here, and 2 of them are host. Old Hat Jack is back as host of the Western Loop. It's that dude.
He's not bad. Little gruff, but once you break through, he's still a little gruff, I said, trying and failing to find something nice to say about Filth Hat Jack.
Rough, like those goats from the fairy tale. Were they devils or sold to the devil or tricked a devil or something like that?
I'm not up to date with my belly goat folklore, unfortunately.
It's why they put you up in the tower. Meanwhile, the rest of us grounders are thinking of playing poker later.
Ground squirrels or grounders was the nickname Harry made up for anyone not working in a lookout tower during their shift. It never made sense to me. Squirrels can climb trees, which are nature's towers. But the name stuck. Tower dwellers were named after the high-flying sandhill cranes, which inevitably got shortened to Sandys. You all suck at poker, I said. You have to be able to bluff and lie to win. All the people on grounder duty are basically priests. Now me, I can spin yarns like the best of them.
Hey, Nuts, why don't you spin me a yarn about how you lost $100 last time we played?
Guys, these two-way radios are for emergencies,
Gwen said, her voice sounding more exasperated than usual. She was another Sandy set up in Tower 5, about 20 miles northwest of me. She had gifted kid vibes, which made sense as she had been one and was easily annoyed with the rest of us. But everyone loved her. Deep down, she loved us too. Like, really deep down, call the Jurassic Park owner. We found insects in ancient amber deep.
Granny!
Gary said, dragging out her name.
You promised not to play school merm today. George is gone for the week. Let's enjoy a bus-free day.
Gwen sighed.
1, I never promised anything. 2, you know I hate Gwenny. And 3, it was a troll in the 3 Billy Goats Gruff legend.
She said, adding,
Oh, and 4, you are the absolute worst poker player in camp, Peter.
Ooh.
Harry said. I couldn't see him doing his bull's horn hand charging at you move, but I knew he was doing it. This man was in his 50s. He had his kids in college.
Everyone knows, bud.
Have fun with Filth Hat Jack. Sandy Bud out.
I'll brace. No sudden thunderstorms come rolling in. Rounder 1 over and out. Baby, suck my butt.
Again, this man had a mortgage. When I get tower duty, I always bring a book or two. When you're up in the gentle rocking and quiet of the air, you can get a lot of reading done. I'm currently going through a sense of horror movie tie-in novelizations. I just finished Alien in the Fog and was looking forward to the blob. I want to do a run of 40s pulp detection novels next. Anyway, after about an hour, my two-way came to life.
Sandy 3, this is Sandy 5. You copy?
Gwen was always so formal.
Hey, Pete, you get any emergency calls in the last 10 or so minutes?
Negative, what's up?
The captain's two-way started squawking a bit ago. First, it was just static. But then, well, it kind of sounded musical.
Musical? How?
Sounded like a kid's piano playing. Mary had a little lamb, I think. It repeated a few times before going silent.
Maybe radio signals bleeding through?
I thought that at first too, but haven't heard anything since.
Maybe you have a fan out there that really wanted you to hear this rendition of a childhood favorite?
If anyone knows I'm up here, I'm already in trouble. No one is scheduled to come out this way today.
I wouldn't go speaking that out into the wilder world, Gwen.
I'm not alone. Pearl's here with me. We're attached to the hip, you know.
Pearl was what she called her pistol. All of us carried something when we went out to the wild. In my civilian life, I'm not much of a gun guy out here, though. I understand that it's an important tool in my tool bag. My intuition is pecking at me. Pearl is a straight shooter after all.
The best. Let me know if you hear anything, huh? My intuition is pecking at me.
Roger, if it comes back, try to record some of it on your phone.
Shit, that's a smart idea.
Sometimes we non-gifted Sandys stumble into one.
I regret telling you that all the flipping time, Pete. Sandy 5 out.
Sandy 3, over and out. I hung up the microphone and walked over to the north-facing window. If the weather is clear, I can sometimes make out the tower vibe from here. It takes a minute to spot, but I always can because, as the old saying goes, there are no straight lines in nature. While not technically true, it's mostly true and a useful guide for spotters. The difference between Mother Nature and her wayward child, mankind. I scan the horizon of anything out of the ordinary, but everything looks serene. The view never changes, but it also never disappoints. Number of hours I've sat out on the catwalk just staring out at the natural world would astound you. To work as a ranger, you need to have not just a healthy fear and appreciation of the wild, but genuinely love it. I heard electronic squelches behind me and turned to see some lights on the cabin's two-way lighting up. I walked back over, picked up the handle, and spoke. Sandy 3, come back? Static broke through the speakers, but that was it. No words, no childhood songs, nothing but grating static. I waited a bit to see if anyone would respond, but after 2 minutes of staring at a speaker, I determined it was nothing. I kicked back to my chair and dove back into my paperback. 2 pages later, Gwen came back.
Sandy 3, this is Sandy 5.
I groaned as I sat back up and grabbed the microphone. Go for Sandy 3.
Peter, do you see something in the sky? Northwest.
Trailing the long, coiled cord behind me, I walked to the window and looked in the direction she told me. Held my hand over my eyes to shield any glare, but still didn't see anything. I pressed the button. Negative, can't see anything. What is it?
I don't know. I was knitting and I heard something whoosh over the tower. Sometimes small planes zip closer than they should, but when I looked out, I didn't see anything at first. Then, about 10 or so miles, the sun reflected off something silver in the sky.
Chopper? Sometimes the fire guys do test runs on clear days.
Nothing on the schedule. I tried raising them on the radio, but no one responded.
That wasn't ideal. You want the fire brigade to answer a call? That goes double if you're surrounded by living firewood. A spark could start an inferno, and that could eat through the entire forest at a speed that would make your head spin. Want me to try to hail them?
Yes,
she said. Her usually firm voice wavered a little.
The thing is just hovering in the sky.
Sometimes they'll do a training run without informing us. It's rare, but it happens. That has to be it. Has to be.
Has to be,
she echoed. Give me a second. Let me switch frequencies and call. I'll come right back. Sandy 5 out. I gave the sky another glance, but didn't see anything hovering. She was a straight shooter as Pearl. If she said she saw something, she saw it. I flipped over to the fire emergency frequency and depressed the button. This is a National Forest Lookout, Tower 5. Does anyone copy? Silence. I tried again. And again. Nothing. I flipped to a few more frequencies and didn't get a reply. It was like they were ignoring us. I switched back to Gwen and filled her in. She wasn't happy.
What the hell? What's going on? What if there was a fire?
Is the thing still in the sky?
Not moving. Feels like I'm being watched. What's your bearing on your Osborne?
The Osborne is a fire detecting tool equipped with every cabin. It's used to determine a location relative to the tower. It swivels 360 degrees and it has an accurate topographical map at its center. When you sight smoke, you line up the crosshairs and find the degrees alongside. It's accurate enough with one tower, but more so if other towers can center in and cross-reference each other.
329 degrees and 48 minutes. Let me know what you see.
I moved the Osborne to the bearing and took a gander through the crosshairs. My eyes are trained to follow along the ridges, so it took a second for me to adjust to the sky. At first I didn't see anything with my naked eye, and I did notice the sun glint off something. Oh Gwen, I see it. Barely. But there's something there.
So I'm not crazy?
Well, that remains to be seen. But with this, you're good.
I don't like that. I can't get through to fire and rescue. That's never happened before.
Try your cell. Maybe you can reach them that way?
No signal. I usually have a few bars out here, but not now.
Always when you need it the most, right?
No kid. Oh shit, Pete. The thing is dropping.
All in your landing.
Oh? It's a quick controlled descent. You see it?
I didn't. I'd barely seen it in the air. If it was quickly falling out of the sky, I had no chance of seeing a thing. Negative.
Shit, it just dipped behind the tree line. I'm filling out the smoke report. I don't know what else to do except follow protocol.
Let me try to give them a call on my phone. I had signal earlier. Hold on, pulled my phone out. Ready to dial, but notice I didn't have any service. Wasn't even roaming, just blank. Like cell towers have been erased. I tried restarting my phone, but it didn't change anything. I don't have service either, I said into the two-way. Any changes over there? I heard Gwen hit the button to speak, but she didn't say a word. Instead, I listened to her handheld two-way radio click several times, and sure enough, the beginning of Mary Had a Little Lamb started playing. She whispered,
Are you hearing this?
I am. The song suddenly stopped, and a calm, almost robotic voice started to speak.
777 Alpha Omega 6 unknown. Repeat. 777 Alpha Omega 6 unknown.
The voice stopped, and my heart did as well. Seconds later, the tiny version of Mary Had a Little Lamb started playing again.
What is that? Who's sending that out?
It sounds like a code, like from a number station.
Number station? As in secret messages to spies? Number stations?
Spies or government officials, maybe? I'm just guessing. It could be someone's idea of weird prank. Maybe it's a fire and rescue team just messing with us?
I dated a guy from Fire and Rescue. They don't have any ounce of sense of humor shared among them. I think this is legit, and I think it's bad. Sounds like a warning, and I don't think it's a coincidence it came after the thing showed up and landed.
Gwen, we don't know what's going on. I think writing the report is a good idea. Want me to relay a message to the campsites? Get another ranger out there? Maybe I'll get lucky and Harry will get dispatched, I said, trying to lower the tension. Gwen may have sounded calm to the untrained ear, but I knew she was scared. Or at the very least, unnerved. I was as well, but didn't want to share that. She laughed, but it sounded like it was Texas two-stepping and crying.
You know, he told me the other day that he thought if given 6 months of training, he could make the pro bowler tour with nothing but alley balls.
Maybe we should encourage it and give our ears a break.
Actually, he said, I could throw cheese like a pissed-off Wisconsinite. Buddy!
She said, imitating his voice. That man has kids in college, Gwen.
That man watched 9/11 as it happened.
Oh, that's a good one. Our conversation was cut short when we both heard a low rumble and felt a slow rolling earthquake shake our towers. I grabbed onto the table as the entire cabin rocked back and forth like a ship hit by a rogue wave. After what felt like 10 hours but was actually 30 seconds, the shaking stopped. Gwen, are you okay?
Jesus Christ, I think I heard something in the tower snap.
What?
I don't know. I was worried this whole thing was going to fall over. Was that an earthquake?
Felt like it.
What the hell? Has there ever been an earthquake here?
As I made a mental note to look up if this area ever had a recorded earthquake, I noticed the trees about a mile out violently snapped back and forth in a concentric circle, like someone had dropped a pebble in water. The ring of shaking trees quickly spread out, and I felt the concussive wave before I heard it. Again, the tower shuddered from the blast. The northern window shattered, and bits of glass came flying inward. I ducked under the desk with the cabin two-way to avoid Swiss cheesing my body, but several of the shards caught my arm. I winced in pain as the glass bit into my flesh. Not wanting to bleed out, I ripped off the sleeve of my shirt and did my best to staunch the bleeding. Once the blast passed, I shot up and turned to the southern window. You can physically see the concussive wave working its way through the trees toward the campsites. Gwen, are you okay? No response. Gwen, please come back. Over. Nothing. Panic started to set in. If she were near the epicenter of that blast, that was a good chance her tower could have collapsed. She could be hurt, or well, I didn't want to think about that. I tried a third time with no response. Our personal two-way squawked. It was Harry calling. He sounded equally nervous and confused.
Sandy 3, this is Grounder 1. What the heck was that?
I don't know.
You say?
I think so, but I can't get a hold of Gwen.
Oh shit! Did you see anything? Any smoke?
She saw something hovering in the sky that went down near her tower. We tried reaching out to fire and rescue, but they didn't respond.
Something was hovering in the sky. Did I hear that right?
Affirmative. It went down or landed. We also heard an odd, the cabin's two ways started to chirp. I turned up the speakers and heard clicking and growling. At first it sounded random, but then I realized multiple things were clicking and growling. It was as if they were communicating with each other. There was a loud, high-pitched electronic squeal that made me slam my hands over my ears. It went on for 10 seconds, and I heard the rest of the glass in the cabin window crack but not fall. When it stopped, I uncovered my ears, but that still didn't chase away the cobwebs. It sounded like my head had been underwater. My ears were swimming. I shook my head and used my thumb to pump out the opening in my ear to help pop them. That's when I heard Harry yelling into my personal two-way. He was jabbering, and I had a hard time making out what he was saying. I took a second to center myself and listen.
Jesus, Peter, Can you hear me?
Copy.
Christ on a bike. What took you so long to respond?
I heard something on the cabin two-way. It sounded like someone clicking, or what I imagine crickets could sound like if they could talk.
Cricket's talking. Son, did you hit your head?
The cabin's two-way speaker came back to life. More clicking, but this was deliberate, as if it was signaling to someone. It sounded familiar. I had no idea how that was even possible. At first I couldn't make out what it was, but then it dawned on me. It was parroting back. Mary had a little lamb. The heck? I said, staring at the speaker. I glared at the little box, wishing it could transform into a TV screen and show me what was making that noise. That's when I saw the object rise above the tree line and climb up into the blue sky. It waited a beat and then it zipped towards me. Oh shit! The craft whooshed over the tower, making it rattle at its foundations. Harry was going nuts over the two-way, rambling about something, but I didn't pay attention. Instead, I ran out on my catwalk to see where the craft had gone to. That's still even possible. As fast as it was traveling, it might be halfway around the world by now. As soon as I pushed open the door to the catwalk, the air around me felt heavy. It even made my moments slow like astronauts walking on the moon. I wondered if hopping would make me move quicker. I glanced up, and everything in my vision was wavy, like when you see gas fumes in the daylight. There was nothing above me that I could see, but I knew it was there. That meant it would have to stop on a dime to be here. Nothing I knew could do that. From inside the cabin, the speaker started bleeding out feedback. At first, it was just noise, but it morphed into something I'd been hearing all day. Mary had a little lamb. It made me realize that it was mirroring the message it must have heard at the same time Gwen and I had. In an instant, the song stopped. The air around me returned to normal. Whatever had been lingering around was gone. Harry was calling out from my person two-way. I ran back inside and picked it up.
Do you copy?
Copy, I said.
Jesus, what's happening out there?
Before I could answer, my eyes flicked toward the north window, and I saw a thin ribbon of smoke on the horizon. It looked dangerously close to Gwen's tower. I felt my heart start to race. Harry, there's smoke near Tower 5. I can't raise Gwen or fire and rescue.
Shit, say no more. I'll rather you TB and head out. You have a bearing on Osborne for me.
I glanced up to where I'd seen the curl of smoke, but an entire bolt of smoke had replaced the ribbon. Or honestly, more like a thick pea soup fog that had stretched for about a mile and was still going. No fire spreads that quickly. It reminded me of those snake fireworks that always underwhelmed you as a kid. You light a small black circle and it ignites it. It expands. At best, it coiled until it became a puff of nothing and blew away in the breeze. At worst, it stopped coiling after about 10 seconds and let a burn mark on your driveway. I had no idea what was going on here. Jesus, Harry. I don't know what this is, but I'm not sure if it's fire.
Where is it?
Across the horizon, I said, and growing.
What?
Cabin's two-way came to life. Through the speaker, we heard a pre-recorded message from the Secretary of Agriculture, the person who oversees all national forests. In a calm, measured tone, they said,
Rangers, this is a code black warning. Please remain in place and do not interfere with any military officials who may arrive on scene. There are civilians present. Please inform them that they are to remain in place and could not leave. Anyone found fleeing this location will be considered hostile and subject to severe punishments. Repeat, this is a code black warning. Stay in place and do not interfere with any military officials. Thank you for your cooperation.
It came and went like a mid-afternoon storm. I wasn't sure what the smoke or fog was. I was certain it wasn't just a quickly spreading forest fire. This was something different. Gas attack? Small-scale nuclear device? Dimensional rift? My mind was racing. Harry, what the heck is a code black?
I have no idea.
Why would they send out the military?
Whatever the reason, damn good, kid. I thought get it out to Gwen. She's at the epicenter of this. Who knows if she's still?
He didn't finish. We both knew what he meant. I thought nothing but that since she stopped responding. Yeah. Go. Be safe, Harry.
You know me. Safety is my middle name. That is a big...
It cut off. He was trying to add levity to a tense situation. I gave Harry shit, but that was his true value. He cared about our well-being. I appreciate the attempt, but we were both too scattered to laugh.
Runner one out.
I walked back out to the catwalk and stared out to the approaching fog. It was so thick that, as it slowly advanced, the trees would just disappear from view. I thought about Gwen, and my guts twisted into pretzels. I'd always been concerned about the tower collapse earlier, but now, that seemed quaint. Was she still alive? Had whatever the code black warning entailed harmed her? The pace at which the fog was approaching was increasing. I'd reluctantly have answers to those questions before too long. I swallowed hard and ran my hands through my sweaty hair. I wanted to do something to help. I had no idea what I could even do. The military arrive soon? Would it be pressed into service? The cabin's two-way started squawking again. Then I heard a familiar voice whisper through the speaker.
Sandy 3. This is Sandy 5. You copy?
It was Gwen. I ran back inside and nearly ripped the two-way off the wall by yanking on the microphone. Gwen? Are you okay? What's going on?
Peter, don't say much. They may hear me. The creatures are in the fog.
I fell back down on the ground. I had a hard time breathing. A what?
There are dozens of them. They're multiplying.
What are they? Shh.
I hear some at the base of the tower.
I held my breath, praying she had closed and locked the access to the catwalk. They went up into the tower, but had nowhere to go. My heart raced, and I felt like I might pass out. I drummed on the floor, praying I'd hear Gwen's voice again.
I haven't figured out I'm in here yet. So far, I stayed out at the tower.
I wanted to respond, but I knew my voice coming out of her speaker would be a beacon that led to her. She had kept her finger depressed on the microphone button, and I could hear everything going on in her cabin. I wasn't sure if she had accidentally held it down, or if she wanted to leave a record of what happened to her. I heard Gwen's heavy breathing, and the occasional rustling of her clothes. I imagined she was tucked under the desk, the long cord trailing from the wall. Sweat beaded my forehead and poured down my face. Seconds later, I heard something that chilled me. It was the clicking and growling noises I heard earlier. There were dozens of different ones in the distance. These things had surrounded the tower.
Yes, I think I hear one on the stairs.
Did you lock the catwalk door, Gwen? Please tell me you locked the catwalk door. I said to myself. As long as she had the microphone in her death grip, none of my messages would reach her. She was smart, and I was hoping she did the smart thing.
Here, I don't know what's going to happen. Thank you for always being nice to me. Tell Harry the same. No jokes and all. But between you and me, the man had personal knowledge of the country's mood during the 2008 housing crisis.
Tears formed at the corners of my eyes, but I smiled. Good one, Gwen. I'm not saying this is goodbye.
I still have Pearl with me, but in case... Jesus, there are more of them on the stairs now.
Her voice lowering to the point where it was barely audible.
I'm scared, Peter. I don't think these things are from...
The radio cut off. No noise, no static, no connection with her two-way. I pressed the button and whispered, Gwen? 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 Can you hear me? Silence. The cabin's two-way shorted out and died. I ran to my personal two-way, but I knew I didn't have the range with it. She was alone, cut off from all humanity. I bolted up and ran to the catwalk. I thought about Harry driving like a madman towards it with reckless abandon. He needed to turn back, but there was no way to reach him now. My heart ached. That man had a family. With nothing to do but prepare for the approaching wave, I locked the catwalk and moved the sparse furniture toward the open windows. Not to stop them from coming, but to slow them down in the hopes that the military might have a plan. I pulled out my handgun, loaded it, and watched the fog roll toward me. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if any of us will get out of it alive. I don't know if this can even be stopped. I turned the southern approach, miles from the darkening fog, and admired the landscape. It was really pretty up here. Oh my gosh, this was so good! I want to know more! I really hope the writer writes more. The writer of this story is Sunhead Prime, and if there's any updates, I'll make sure to let you know, but I'll put his information in the description as well if you want to check him out. Very good writer. Oh, it's so spooky. And it does remind me of the fog, but it sounds like it's like from a different point of view from Harry, so it's really cool. But if you like this story, please like and subscribe. And thanks for watching. Bye-bye!